Welcome back to the Peer Review. So I was out here testing a new mag coupler that I got for my Genesis from Nexus products. And what this does is allows you to couple two of your 10 rounders together, and it has a +5 in the middle. So essentially this mag now holds an entire box of 25 shells of 12 gauge. That inside my Genesis is good for a long stage for 3-gun or for other matches like action shotgun matches that allow for high capacity magazines. So I was testing it, and I thought, what better way to test it than to use our new Caldwell ClayCopter. So it's kind of a dual purpose video here, and honestly it's more for fun than anything. This ClayCopter, ever since my son and I got it, we've actually been fighting over who's shooting the clays and who gets to play with the ClayCopter, because it's just as much fun to use this as it is to shoot. So pretty cool product. We're going to dive into it here today. Again, kind of dual purpose. We're going to be testing two things at once and kind of doing some playing around. It is very windy. The wind picked up out of nowhere right before I started the video. So hopefully I can actually get some shots off on these clays before they just get freaking carried away by the wind. So let's get started here and check this thing out. So first thing before we dive right on into shooting this thing is let's talk about this ClayCopter. So this uses ClayCopter targets that you buy through distributors like, honestly, Walmart, Bass Pro, Cabela's, Shields, all of the large distributors are going to be carrying these. They are made from Caldwell, and what they are is 110 millimeter discs that are kind of like a fan blade in a way. And this ClayCopter thrower has like little motor inside of it that spins these things to a ridiculous RPM and then releases them and launches them. These feel like plastic and they look like plastic, but the cool thing is these are actually a biodegradable plant starch, and they say these will actually break down and degrade faster than a normal clay, and they have about the same surface area technically to shoot. Obviously, there's a lot of holes inside of these, so they spin very fast. So your chance of hitting one is about as high as a normal clay. So they are really good practice, but really these are a ton of fun. So we're gonna shoot. I'm just gonna launch a couple before I even start shooting, just to kind of show you how this thing works. But it's a blast. You can actually stack two in there at a time. I'm gonna start with one. There's an on-off switch on the side. This thing does take a battery pack, which you can buy spares of, and they drop out like a magazine basically. So it's got like a little mag release on the side. There's your battery pack. You charge it with a USB-C. This thing's still at 100%. I've used this thing a bunch, so obviously this thing lasts for a while. And it's got a little button on the side you can check your battery pack on. So we're gonna put the mag back in there, or the battery back in there. Turn the on switch on. On the side, there's a dial. You can set and adjust your launch power. So I'm gonna actually turn this thing down towards the bottom so that you can really see what this thing does, and then I'm gonna launch one on full power. So let's check this thing out. There is a safety on the front that you have to use like your left hand for. And for me, I just kind of hold it like this, squeeze that safety, and then the trigger spins this thing up and launches it out. So that's the slowest speed. That one's going about 40 yards ish right there. And again, the wind might carry some of these that way once the wind picks up, but I'm going to turn this all the way up and I'm going to launch this and let you guys see how this thing does. You can hear the difference, and that sucker took off. I don't know if you can even see how high that went. That literally hit a tree branch and went all the way to the top of that tree up there. So I'm gonna start the video when I have my shotgun ready, and I'll launch these to myself, which is the cool part about this. My son and I have been playing with this, and what we've been doing for practice is we've actually been starting with the launcher in our hand. We launch one, we pick up our shotgun, and we try to hit it, and we turn the speed up and see if we can still hit it based on the different speeds this thing throws. So I'm gonna get started here. The cool thing before I get started, those two that I threw, if I found those, they're actually reusable. So unlike a traditional clay, if you were to launch a traditional clay out in that distance, and especially hitting a tree limb like that, it would shatter, it'd be done for. These are much stronger, And really, unless you hit them with a shot or they hit something very solid, then you could literally go pick these up and reuse them. We did try using a couple that got shot and some of the fins were missing, and I will tell you, do not do that. It sounded terrible, and I'm sure it was hard on the bearings and motor on this thing, so we won't do that anymore. But if you find these and they're still in full condition, still in great shape, you can reuse them, which is freaking awesome. So these come in a 50 pack. We have a whole case of these, so I've got plenty to play with. We're gonna do some here for the video, and my son and I have already gone through an entire sleeve of these. But the cool thing, again, because they come in like this hard cardboard case, these transport super well. You can throw these in the back of your car, in the trunk, whatever, and it's a lot less worry about these breaking than a case of traditional clays. So I really like that, and this takes up way less room. I mean, 2 sleeves of this is as much capacity as an old case of clays. These take up way less room, they transport much better, and this thing is just a ton of fun. So without wasting any more of your time, let's put some of these up in the air and send some shots at them. All right, so I probably look ridiculous because I've got, a camera on my head and a microphone on my hat, but I did this on purpose. So I'm gonna turn this camera on, and that way maybe we can get some good footage of the kind of first person of me doing this as well. I've got you zoomed out. Hopefully you can see the clay. I'm going to launch it a little high. That way I have time to shoot it because I am picking up the shotgun off the table to shoot it. So I'll get my video started here. Shotgun is loaded. So my shotgun's hot. Clay is in the clay thrower. So we're going to get started here. Shotgun safety is on, so I will have to disengage that upon retrieving this shotgun. And let's launch that. All right, it took me 2 shots. Uh-oh. Camera might be full. Hopefully that got it on video. Clay is in the clay thrower, so we're gonna get started here. Shotgun safety is on, so I will have to disengage that upon retrieving this shotgun. And let's launch that. Okay, let's see if we can get this to go. I missed that one. All right. I finally figured this camera out. I had it set to where it was recording for 15 seconds at a time, so I wasn't able to get any shots off before it quit recording from the time that I was running my mouth to the time that I was trying to shoot. I've got that set properly now. I've got the shotgun loaded, safety's on, one in the chamber, so all I have to do is retrieve the shotgun, roll the safety off, try to break the shot. I'm going to try to aim this a little high up so I can increase my chances of hitting it. And I'm going to get this start recording here. All right, so we're going to launch one up and let's see what happens. All right. So you can see when I hit that thing, it just shot to the ground. So we're going to go find it real quick and see what it looks like. Let me stop the recording here up here. And we're gonna grab that thing. Shotgun is still hot. I don't like being downrange on hot weapons, obviously. So clear that. Aim it away from me. Let's go pick this thing up. See what it looks like. So you can see I hit that thing, and that's what's left. So it's pretty cool. I'm gonna get some more loaded up. Oh, there's another part of it there. So again, these look like plastic. They feel kind of like plastic, but they are a biodegradable cornstarch. They break apart fairly easy, and we're gonna throw that out in the woods. Oh, there's a couple that I launched earlier. So I got a piece of that one and a piece of that one. So you can see kind of some pellet hits and that piece missing. So I didn't get a very solid hit. Same with that one. That one is much more solid. So pretty cool. Let's keep launching these things. Start that video. I have 2 in there. So see if I can hit either one of them, maybe hopefully both. Oh, I got a little piece of at least one of them. I'll walk down there after I clear the shotgun and see if I got both of them. So Sometimes if you barely hit the edge of one, you really can't barely tell until you get down there and look, and you'll find little pieces broken. And hopefully I didn't just miss both of those. I don't think so, but let's find out. So I just thought about it, but I'm also going to show you guys loading this ClayCopter. So simple, you just take this clay disc and it goes right in the center. You got to find, there's like a little release point basically, and it clicks right in, and you could do two at once. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll launch both and see. Maybe I can hit them both, maybe I hit one of them, we'll see. I'm going to get the other video started. My head cam shows is good, so I'll show you on here. So that one got a couple of BB hits on it, got a couple broken pieces. That one much more contact with the hit. A few pieces on that one, and just barely nicked that one. I got a little piece there and a little piece out there. So you can tell when you do hit them, but they're not as dramatic and obvious unless you get a real solid hit. This hit wasn't as solid as the first couple. So let's see if I can get a couple more up in the air and get a better shot on them. I've already got the shotgun loaded. I've already got this preloaded. I'll start my head cam back up again. See what we got. Oh, those were solid. So you can tell when you get a solid hit, because that thing just drops, just falls off. Obviously, you don't need a 25 round mag to do this, but why not? You know, I can get more shots off and take less time loading mags. So let's get some more up in the air. This is fun. I'm going to show you real quick on loading it again. I showed you with my head cam, but I'll show you with my phone camera here. So this kind of has an area that it turns, and the release kind of lets it drop into place. There's it's kind of a finesse thing, in all honesty. Sometimes I can get it first try, and sometimes it takes me a second. So we've got two stacked in there. Whenever you launch those, that release is going to let them fly off. The centrifugal force pulls them, and basically again like a fan blade. So I'm going to launch these and we'll give it another shot. I missed that first one. They didn't go far, which tells me I got at least a piece of them. All right, so I got that one actually better than I thought I did. I don't know, those ones were from earlier. I don't know if those are, all right, so I got a very, very small piece of that one. Ugh. All these have little pieces hit, so I at least got some of them. You can see the BB hit on those where it's just kind of like some lead coloration to it. So I got a little bit of those. I didn't get a solid hit on them. When you get a solid hit, they kind of shatter more like a traditional clay. So let's go back over, and I'll put a couple more up in the air. Okay, let's see if we can get this to go. I have two in there, so see if I can hit either one of them, maybe hopefully both. Oh, I got a little piece of at least one of them. I'll walk down there after I clear the shotgun and see if I got both of them. Sometimes if you barely hit the edge of one, you really can't barely tell until you get down there and look, and you'll find little pieces broken. And hopefully I didn't just miss both of those. I don't think so, but let's find out. Drops, just falls off. Obviously, you don't need a 25 round mag to do this, but why not? You know, I can get more shots off and take less time loading mags. So let's get some more up in the air. This is fun. Well, part of the video was supposed to be to test the mag, so it would only be fair for me to just mag dump the rest of this mag so that I can fully test it. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. She ran every round. I'd say that mag passes. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. I missed that first one. So we'll see. All right. Well, that was a brief video, but I just wanted to show off a little bit on this Nexus mag, 25 round Genesis mag coupling setup. It comes with the mag base, comes with the coupler in the middle, comes with the clip there, so you can actually hook it like to your belt or your pocket or whatever and carry that. So pretty cool. We've been running those for a little while. I'm just testing them for upcoming matches. I take them apart and clean them between matches and then just make sure they run good in between. And then again, this is the ClayCopter. So this has been a ton of fun. Again, it's, in my opinion, more fun than a traditional clay thrower and traditional clay sporting clays, trap shooting, whatever you want to call it. This is a lot of fun to do in your backyard. You don't need as much stuff set up. It's not like the old traditional ones where you're like dragging out a car battery and making sure your car battery's charged and bringing this huge hunk of a thing that, you know, has a throwing arm that'll freaking take your shins off. This is simple, light, and a lot of fun. So this definitely gets an A from me. I think that I would recommend one of these to anyone that enjoys shooting clays and doesn't want to deal with all the extra equipment. So we're going to get back to it. I've got a lot of prep to do for an upcoming match, but thank you guys for being along for the ride today.